It's a Minimalist Monday edition of Optimal Finance Daily, episode 1256, The Freedom to Get Real, and Wanna Talk Money? Both by Helene Massicotte of freetopursue.com. And I'm Dan, I'm your host. A very happy Monday to you. Hope your week is off to a terrific start. This, of course, is the podcast where I read to you from some of the best personal finance blogs anywhere. And today I've got two posts from Helene Massicotte, so let's get right to them as we start optimizing your life. The Freedom to Get Real by Helene Massicotte of freetopursue.com. It started in my late teens. I had this feeling in the pit of my stomach that told me that I didn't have to follow the rules as scripted. I went to school, then university, worked in my family's small business, and tried to ignore my gut. I enjoyed school and work, but again, that nagging feeling was there. I just kept getting better at suppressing it by becoming an adrenaline junkie off hours. Other than some stupidity in my late teens, I mostly did the right things, the things that make your parents, employers, friends, colleagues, and everyone else comfortable. I was predictable, familiar, safe. I kept myself in line. But still, my gut nagged at me to look for more, and that pull became harder to ignore after my father's unexpected death. The feelings would come in waves and were strongest whenever I took yet another step along the path I was supposed to follow. There was mild nausea when we bought the SUV, contempt when I participated in business events with people I didn't like to discuss quote-unquote appropriate topics I didn't believe in or care about. And there was sadness when faced with another requisite business dinner to forge artificial relationships to grease the skids for more favorable sales or contract terms. I even felt a sense of dread when faced with the next promotion. You know, the one where you know you'll be expected to sell your soul for a fatter paycheck, hefty benefits, and corporate perks. I shudder to think about what I would have been giving up to make more money to buy things I would either have been too busy or too exhausted to enjoy. Luckily, I've always had a strong need to be self-sufficient, and as my already sensible husband and I became more financially secure, I started to make decisions that felt right and stopped doing what didn't. Financial freedom helped me get real. The process took about 5 or 6 years. I wish I could say I had a master plan, but I was simply moving forward one step at a time. I didn't know where I'd end up, and still don't, but I started following my gut, and it made me feel happier, more certain, and most importantly, more like myself. You know the self I'm talking about, how you felt as a kid when you felt like you. It also made me a better employee. I was working where I was working because I wanted to be there. I was passionate about doing the right thing, and I spoke up when something didn't feel right, and that enabled me to work on some amazing projects over the years. The key was that I wasn't fearful of losing my job. I wasn't dependent on it. And when circumstances changed and it was clear that it was time to leave, I was able to make the decision and move on. That was, and still is, a powerful and comforting feeling. I'm not going to say that I won't choose some predictable checklist items again in the future. It's just that the criteria I use to evaluate the choices I make in my life have fundamentally changed. I now ask myself the following. Will this next endeavor excite my curiosity? Do I like the people I'll be involved with? Does the environment feel comfortable? Is the work or project or endeavor in line with what I want and value? Is it worth what I have to give up to make room to pursue it? Will it be exciting and fun? Will it be rewarding, fulfilling? Will it expand my comfort zone? Will I be a better version of me for having done it? I'm mostly driven by internal drivers now as opposed to carrots and sticks. I'm staying true to what keeps me curious and engaged and productive, now thankfully defined by effectiveness, not efficiency. I'm more grateful and giving than I can ever remember and rarely feel obligated anymore. The daily terms and conditions I live by are largely self-imposed, and I vow to ferociously guard this newfound freedom. How about you? Do you feel able to get real? Do you feel like the real you? And I'll have another post for you in just a sec, but first, is your Wi-Fi struggling to keep up with your streaming, work, gaming, video calling, and more? What about all at once? When you're connected to your world by Wi-Fi, be sure it's the best. Bring your Wi-Fi up to speed with Orbi Wi-Fi 6 from NETGEAR. Orbi Wi-Fi 6 is the best and latest in Wi-Fi. It covers your entire home with the fastest Wi-Fi for uninterrupted streaming, video calling, and working and learning from home on more devices than ever before and in any part of the house. It's Wi-Fi perfectly engineered. Ready for the best Wi-Fi ever? Find out what makes NETGEAR America's #1 choice for Wi-Fi at netgear.com/best Wi-Fi. That's netgear.com/best Wi-Fi, and I have that linked in this episode's description. Wanna Talk Money? By Helene Massicotte of freetopursue.com. There's been a great deal of discussion on all online and offline platforms about the power dynamics in the workplace and, to a certain extent, in the home. It's a touchy subject for all involved, with many of us feeling like we're walking on eggshells anytime we broach the subject. Touchy as it may be, it needs to be addressed, for real, more than just talk, and it's about time. What does this have to do with money? Everything. As we know, money makes the world go round. In this modern era, we need money for just about anything and everything we want to do, from spending leisure time with loved ones to going on a fabulous vacation to some remote location. It's a fact. Most activities require some amount of money for us to participate in them. But money is useful for more than just buying stuff and living life in general. Money has secret powers. It can turn us into a superhero version of ourselves. Money allows us to help our friends and family when they find themselves in a pinch, and it can help us save ourselves from Murphy's Law when he pays us a visit. But money also allows us to do something pretty amazing, even when we're not actively using it. Money can help us stick up for ourselves, and it can even help us right a wrong. Now, I'm not saying anyone ever has a right to abuse another human being, be it verbally, physically, psychologically, emotionally, or otherwise. What I'm saying is that money can have a significant influence on how we feel, and that can have a significant impact on how we react to abuse or insult, both in the moment and after the fact. I've been noticing over time that as our savings and investment accounts grow and our debts disappeared, my self-confidence increased. I demanded more of myself and of others. I wanted the respect and regard I deserved as an equal in any and all relationships. In short, I wanted what I rightfully deserved. This expectation applied to personal relationships, work arrangements, negotiations, and even to everyday interactions with strangers. Now, I'm not talking about turning into some diva, princess, spoiled brat version of myself. On the contrary, it's not a zero-sum game. We can both stand up for ourselves, refusing to sell ourselves short, and have regard for others. In fact, respectful behavior usually gets us more in life anyway. Have you ever wanted to give anything to a chronic complainer or bully? If anything, I tend to want to take something away from folks who behave that way. As I started to navigate the world a bit differently, thanks to my increased levels of liquid courage, I noticed others reacting with mild to marked surprise when I didn't settle for what was on offer, or that I felt comfortable walking away from proposed arrangements that I didn't feel were equitable or in my best interest. Knowing what I know now, I wish I could write a big fat check to my 15 to 18-year-old self. She could definitely have used some serious liquid courage in dealing with some of what she went through. Is having savings the end-all and be-all in working toward equality? No. Are there power dynamics other than money that can have a negative impact on our lives? Absolutely. But to me, having some serious dough squirreled away is a good start, and I wouldn't want to give up what it affords me, the ability to be my own hero, to have my own back. As it turns out, it takes money to make money, but it also takes money to avoid having what's rightfully ours looted by those who believe they can get away with it, be it our power, well-being, independence, dignity, legal rights, peace of mind, belongings, or opportunities. Stacking the odds in our favor is only fair when we might be walking into a rigged game. You just listened to the posts titled "The Freedom to Get Real" and "Wanna Talk Money?" both by Helene Massicotte of freetopursue.com. And I'm going to leave it there for today. That'll do it for another Monday show. Have a great rest of your day and start to your week, and I'll be back here tomorrow reading to you. That's where your optimal life awaits.